Dr. Jacques Vallée suggests our accepted scientific perception of reality may be very limited and inaccurate. If we look at the world from an informational point of view, and if we consider the many complex ways in which time and space may be structured, the old idea of space travel and interplanetary craft, to which most technologists are still clinging, appears not only obsolete, but ludicrous. Indeed, modern physics has already bypassed it, offering a very different interpretation of what an extraterrestrial system might look like. I believe there is a system around us that transcends time as it transcends space. The system may well be able to locate itself in outer space, but its manifestations are not spacecraft in the ordinary nuts and bolts sense. The UFOs are physical manifestations that cannot be understood apart from their psychic and symbolic reality. What we see in effect here is a control system which acts on humans and uses humans. Researcher Bernard Gunther further defines these hyperdimensional realities by stating, "There is more to our reality than our five senses can perceive. We are not God's ultimate creation, nor on the peak of the evolutionary ladder in Darwinian terms. Our reality is embedded in a complex system of unseen worlds and controlled by denizens of higher reality. The forces at work are not all good, and we're not on the top of the food chain. Food does not have to be physical, and these beings feed off our negative emotions and energy, predominantly chaos, sexual pathologies, and fear, which they create working through us." The ancient esoteric teachings talk about a hyper-dimensional matrix control system that has influenced and controlled humanity for millennia, each in their own way. Don Juan, in Castaneda's book, The Active Side of Infinity, called it the topic of all topics, speaking of a cosmic predator that uses man as food. Man has a glowing coat of awareness, which the predator eats, leaving just the bare minimum of consciousness stuff for man to remain physically alive. The predator milks man through arranging for constant trouble and crisis and senseless preoccupation, so as to generate flashes of awareness that it then proceeds to eat. And one of the most useful constructs in our world that guarantees perpetual crisis and conflict is religion. The late Gore Vidal spoke to the root of this matter. The great unmentionable evil at the center of our culture is monotheism. From a barbaric Bronze Age text known as the Old Testament, three anti-human religions have evolved: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. These are sky god religions. They are literally patriarchal. God is the omnipotent Father, hence the loathing of women for 2,000 years in those countries afflicted by the sky god and his earthly male delegates. The sky god is a jealous god, of course. He requires total obedience from everyone on earth, as he is in place not for just one tribe, but for all creation. Those who would reject him must be converted or killed for their own good. Ultimately, totalitarianism is the only sort of politics that can truly serve the sky god's purpose. To guarantee their perpetual human food source, it appears the Arcontes have established on Earth a matrix control system to manage their livestock. As well, it also appears they have groomed particular dynasties of humans to serve as their terrestrial managers. The human managers possess a very specific psychological profile. There exists a type of human who has no connection to the higher centers of universal love, awareness at birth. He or she is not genetically wired this way, not being able to access them this lifetime around, but he or she can emulate and mimic these higher characteristics quite well, and even distract you from evolving by sapping your energy and feeding off it. He or she can tell you exactly what you want to hear, appear compassionate, empathetic, and understanding without meaning or feeling it. This type of human is the psychopath, making up about 6% of humanity, who is hiding behind a mask of sanity, creating misery and chaos which they feed off. They are not necessarily criminals in prison, but can be successful CEOs, politicians, spiritual leaders, a husband, wife, child, or the neighbor next door. They are also pathological liars who never feel any guilt or remorse. That is the topic which is very misunderstood and ignored. Becoming aware of it and educating oneself and others about it is the most crucial and important action we can undertake to make this world a better place. It's the underlying cause of the reason why our world is in the state it's in. It's run by psychopaths. The collective inability to recognize our leaders as psychopaths is in itself pathological. One phenomena all ponerogenic groups and associations have in common is the fact that their members lose, or have already lost, the capacity to perceive pathological individuals as such, interpreting their behavior in fascinated, heroic, or melodramatic ways. When the habits of subconscious selection and substitution of thought data spread to the macro-social level, a society tends to develop contempt for factual criticism and to humiliate anyone sounding an alarm. The general population's inability to discern pathology in their world leaders effectively serves the Archon matrix control system. An abductee herself, the late Dr. Carla Turner, warned, "Humans have a deep need to believe in the power of good. We need for the aliens to be a good force, since we feel so helpless in their presence. And we need for some superior force to offer us a hope of salvation, both personally and globally, when we consider the sorry state of the world. I think the aliens know this about us. They know that we want and hope for them to be benevolent creatures, and they use our desire for goodness to manipulate us. What better way to gain our cooperation than to tell us that the things they are doing are for our own good?" Returning to the Gnostic perspective, Goddess Sophia's dream of creation is still a work in progress. John Lash states, "Humanity cannot find its way to alignment with Gaia Sophia without mastering the problem of extra-human predation. Whence comes evil? Are we alone? If we cannot get clear on our relation to our cousin species, who are so deeply implicated in the scenario of terrestrial evolution, how can we possibly realize our membership in the cosmic community at large?" Finally, Elton Turner, abductee himself and husband to the late Dr. Carla Turner, offers this hopeful reminder. "Reality left in the hands of the invaders is neither what we need nor what we want. It is time that we think hard about ourselves and what we have on this gem of the universe, our home, our planet. There are laws governing the actions of our invaders, rules guiding their actions, and patterns of behavior we can discover if we will make a concerted effort to discern them. We humans have something valuable that is desirable to and usable by the alien forces acting on us. I feel it is time we take back that which is ours, that we use all our resources to discover the laws that govern reality and become the beings that we intrinsically know we are."